having folks live out on the street just isn't the way to live life.
It's not even a year old, but Fresno's homeless camping ban is now being called into question after a ruling against a similar ban in another city. Good evening, I'm Evan Onstein.
And I'm Stephanie Barucci, and thank you for joining us. New tonight, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals in Boise, Idaho, ruled that it is a cruel and unusual punishment to arrest the homeless if they have nowhere else to go.
And now Fresno leaders wonder what that might mean for our local ordinance. Our Alexander Balakian joining us live at City Hall tonight. And Alexander, the author of the local law, says that he plans to maybe make some changes here.
Yeah, that's right, Evan and Stephanie. Councilman Steve Brando wasting no time in getting out in front of this today. Now, since the passing of this ordinance 11 months ago, only a handful of arrests have been made. And now Brando is saying, hey, this ordinance is working. But with this landmark ruling in Boise, it could change all of that.
It's a hard element to tackle because it's damned if you do and damned if you don't.
Cruz Avila of the Pavarello House has a front row seat to the homeless problem. He says there's roughly 1,800 on the streets in Fresno's city limits, and all 72 of their beds are occupied every night.
Having folks live out on the street just isn't the way to live life.
Camping overnight, cooking out in the street, and going to the restroom out in the street.
Councilman Steve Brando authored the city ordinance to wipe out homeless encampments. Now, with this new ruling in Boise from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals saying it's unconstitutional to cite people living on the streets, Brando worries it could spark a wave of lawsuits against the city.
A bunch of activist judges, they're probably more concerned with the rights of the homeless, and I have to concern myself with the rights of the rest of us.
Some homeless people ignore the ordinance and set up camp, like this one here just a few blocks from Chichansey Park. But Brando says it is working, and now he's working with the city attorney to change the ordinance's wording.
I don't want to penalize the homeless, but I've got to think about Fresno residents and businesses that are in a stage of crisis, and the problem's not going away.
And one change Brando is specifically looking at is to make sure the ordinance does not penalize or cite a homeless person who does not have an available bed to them. Look for that specific change later this month when they once again meet again during the City Council. I'm Alexander Balakian, KC24, local news that matters.
Alexander, thank you. We have